I want to make a video clarifying the wiring for the BMW 740iL LS swap. So this is of course, it's just a magnetic clutch, right? So black and green. The green gets connected to this is the stock BMW harness that went to the compressor clutch, right? Same thing. It's just that the compressor clutch on the BMW setup, it has it grounded out probably to like a bolt right here or right here on the compressor. So that gets grounded out through the engine, that's fine. So the black wire has to get grounded out. I have it connected back here on the back of the ABS pump, which goes to a chassis ground. And then this is the original one wire that went to the compressor. It's like a black and blue is what it looks like. And then here is the high pressure cutoff. I didn't do any modification to this. As long as you still have this sensor and this pigtail, you should be fine. You shouldn't need to do any kind of jumping, because what this does is it cuts this off in case the pressure is getting too high. Maybe there's a blockage in the system, or it's running low on refrigerant. So that's what that sensor does. Leave it alone. And then over here, sorry for the mess, but this is I have a Holley terminator in here. So this is the X69 connector for my car. It is, I think it's a 26 pin, right? So right here, what is this? Yeah, 26 pin. So pin 17, 18, and 19 are all for the AC system communicating back and forth to the BMW ECU and the BMW IHKA or HVAC controls, right? So 17 and 18, I don't know which one is which, but one of them tells the ECU that you want AC, right? It's a 12-volt signal. The other one is a pulse width modulation, so it tells it how much AC you want. If you were doing this if you wanted to idle up your car, right, I'd have to just probe this out, and one of them would give me 12 volts. The other one would be like a varying voltage, right? So that'd be 17 or 18. 19 is the full throttle cutout. So anything you want your ECU to cut off, right? This is the black and green from the full throttle cutout right here. I just tested this out. I undid the wiring, and so the 17 and 18 is what toggles the clutch on or off, right? So all you have to do is ground this out, and the clutch will turn on as long as you want AC. If you wanted it to have the same function as the BMW system, where it turns off air conditioning at full throttle, all you have to do is just have some kind of control here that would ground this for a couple seconds while you're blasting down the highway, and so that would allow you to turn off the compressor. You could do this with a Holley Terminator car. I know it's very programmable with inputs and outputs. I think there's other videos out there on how to do that, but you could send out a ground signal, you could send out a 12-volt signal, you could send a PWM with the Holley. With a stock GM computer, I'm not sure, but I do know that they do have a full throttle cutout, and that they do have some kind of sensor for monitoring the AC, and that's how they tell that the AC is on. So that's it. Maybe I might end up adding some kind of idle up for my Terminator, but right now it doesn't completely stall out and die when I have the AC on. I'll demonstrate this. let's see. Throw the battery on because it's been sitting. Keys. So it'll be loud. I probably won't be able to have you guys hear me, but so air conditioning. So that's all I had to do with my Holley Terminator car. As far as I know, this is also looking for other signals. So in case this doesn't work for you, I have my coolant temp gauge working. I think Todd Smith has a good video on that. I have my tachometer working. All right, it does look for a minimum RPM according to the manuals that I've found online, like 800 RPM. Like, so if it's starting to stall down, it'll turn off the air conditioning. That way, you know, it doesn't completely die out on you when it's a normal BMW car from the dealership. So I don't know if that RPM switching is coming from the DME or if it reads it from here and sends it down here. But I do know that the coolant temperature switch, you have to have this working in order to have air conditioning. If it's not working, this does get sent through a K-bus signal, and that's what I could tell from the literature, that it's looking for a minimum, or not a minimum, but a maximum coolant. So if you're ever overheating, it'll turn off air conditioning. So that's all I have to do. Blows cold. It works for me. That's it. Thank you.